Previously on Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. Couldn't possibly be asking what do you think he is, could he?
I'm begging you. Iris's trial starts tomorrow. With Nick out of the picture, you're all I've got left. You're the only one who can represent her.
What? I saw two people. One of them was laying on the ground. The other one was stabbing her from the back with a sword. If you hide anything from Mr. Edgeworth, I'll arrest you on the spot, pal. Ah! Oh my giddy aunt. Five locks. Hello, I'm Unca Crunk, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, where we're still playing as Miles Edgeworth. And it's been a couple of weeks since I played, so I'm going to have to put in a cut here while I go through the court record. But first... Oh my, Mr. Larice feels that way about me? Apparently, he isn't aware of your real secret at all. This is no time to be embarrassed. I'm sorry. I'm just hardly accustomed to that sort of thing. Worry not. And in any case, whatever it was that he saw on the night of the incident, mark my words, I will drag it out of him. Does that mean Mr. Larice is the witness today? No. I believe that none will be the first to take the stand. Sister Bikini. She claims to have seen the very instant in which you, allegedly, carried out the crime. I just want to ask you one last time. It really wasn't you who killed Ms. Elise Denham, correct? That is correct. It wasn't me. Very well then. Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? You are a prosecutor, aren't you? Are you sure about this? If your true identity is revealed... Don't worry. I've made the necessary arrangements. I see. Iris, it is a prosecutor's job to doubt people. But right now, I am a defense attorney. A defense attorney's job is to believe in people, and to believe until the bitter end. That's what my friend told me once. Mr. Edgeworth, I simply ask that you watch and decide for yourself whether or not I am fit to do the task I have been entrusted. Very well, sir. I leave my defense in your capable hands. February 9th, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 7. Court is now in session for the trial of Sister Iris of the Hazakura Temple. Okay, I'm gonna go check the court record now. Cut here, please. Okay, I'm back. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The defense does indeed appear to be ready. However, the same cannot be said for the prosecution in this case. Indeed. I'm not sure I like such a blatant waste of this court's time. An empty prosecutor's chair can only mean that the prosecutor has no confidence in their ability to prove their case. It would seem this case is already over before it had a chance to begin. I am ready to announce my verdict at this time. This court finds the defendant... Oh! Yes, Francisca! I think I just gave her her father's voice instead of giving her one of her own. But anyway.
The prosecution stands ready.
And you are?
Franziska von Karma, prosecuting prodigy.
Von Karma, you say? Perchance, you wouldn't be of any relation to the legendary prosecutor Manfred von Karma.
Legends are a thing of the past. I am a von Karma, that is all. Upon a special request, I flew in today for the purposes of prosecuting this case.
You did? Then you must be quite a big shot, eh? By the way, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. I'm almost certain that I've seen you somewhere before, or am I just imagining things? You look very much like a prosecutor I met once. I believe you're imagining things, Your Honor. Ms. Von Karma, do you have anything to say?
There is no such weakling as this man among those of the prosecutor's office.
There isn't, but I'm sure.
I told you there is no such weakling.
What is that, a whip? Oh, I'm not sure I care for such a thing in my courtroom.
The bailiff, remove that whip.
Hold it!
I have no objection to the whip. You don't? The prosecution can wield a whip or drink 17 cups of coffee, but there is still only one truth. That is what I stand here to prove today.
This promises to be interesting, Miles Edgeworth. I had expected to face Phoenix Wright here today. But looking at you now, maybe this is what I have been waiting for all this time. Miles Edgeworth, I will not allow this chance to crush you, slip through my fingers.
I see you brought your flair for the histrionic. Allow me to add to the things I'm not sure about. People acting bizarrely in my court.
Do that! The stage is set. Now continue with the proceedings, Your Honor.
Oh, very well. Ms. Von Karma, please give an outline of this case. With as little whipping as possible, if you please, eh?
The murder victim is the famed picture book author, Miss Alice Donning. Her body was found in the Korosakura Temple courtyard. She had been stabbed through the torso by a ceremonial sword from a golden statue.
The sword in this picture is the weapon in question, correct? Very well. The court accepts this photo as the crime scene. Okay, crime photo. The courtyard where Elise Dunham was murdered?
There's no mistake. This was the doing of Sister Iris. After all, there is a witness to her claim.
Very well. Please bring this witness to the stand. And so it begins. My first and last trial as a defense attorney. Phoenix better be worth it.
Witness, state your name and occupation, please.
Hold on there. I'm not sure about being not sure if I care about this at all. Witness, please stand up nice and straight. If I recall correctly, there are a few milk crates in the defendant's lobby for a back pain plagued witness. Bailiff, fetch a crate for this poor lady, please.
Once again, your name and occupation, please.
Little old me? Well, I'm the head nun at Hazakura Temple on Eagle Mountain. My name is Bikini. Ha! You got it? Bikini. Ha! Nice to meet everyone. But you don't appear to be wearing a bikini right now.
There! The courtroom is the garden of holy judgment. Those with lechery in their hearts should leave this sanctuary at once.
You want me to leave? No need to get your bikinis in a twist. Let me tell you, I'm the sight of behold in summer.
In any case, witness, I hear that you saw the crime take place on the night in question.
That's right. I can still hardly believe it myself, to be honest. There's no way dear little Iris could do anything like that.
Let us hear what you have to say then.
First, tell us about your own movements that night, eh? They actually did it. They actually did the boot thing. Night of the murder. That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but, well, as you can see, my back stacked up, violently even. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to the Hazakura temple. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, so I needed a long hot soak. It was after I had finished, just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it.
So it's simply a coincidence that you found yourself returning to the Hazakura temple?
Yes, you could say that. If my back hadn't been in so much pain, I would have stayed at the inner temple.
That sounds like a pretty important statement she just made.
There is only one problem with this testimony that I can see. And you're not about to fall at the first hurdle now, are you, Mr. Miles Edgeworth?
Mr. Edgeworth, please begin your cross-examination. Okay then. Oh, okay then.
That night I was helping an acolyte with her training in the inner temple, but...
Hold it!
What is this inner temple?
Well, see, conversing with the spirits is what we train people to do, right?
We'll be the ones asking you the questions, madam.
In order to do that, at least strong and spiritual power is required. There's a small temple across the dusky bridge called the Inner Temple. Acolytes must spend an entire night there to undergo intense training.
And how exactly do you help with this process?
It's all quite exacting. It can't be performed without a nun supervising.
Like a tutor watching to make sure a spoiled child studies.
Tutor with a whip in your case. If that is the case, then why did you return to Hazakura Temple where the murder took place?
Well, as you can see, my back stacked up violently.
Hold it!
Violently?
That's right. It's no laughing matter, especially in winter. I can't hold anything heavier than a knife and fork during the cold months. Just being alive is like strict training.
On the night of the murder, was this fabulous back of yours hurting again?
That's right. Raging like a bull in a pig pen. I almost fainted once or twice. I just know that unless I warmed it up, it was going to finally finish me off. So I left Iris to help the acolyte and returned to the Hazakura temple.
Oh, wait, hang on, go back.
Hold it!
You left Iris to help. With what?
What do you think? The acolyte's training, of course. But it was just past 10 p.m., so we were starting to enter into the training exercises proper.
Wasn't it your place to remain with the disciple?
Well, their job is simply to watch over the acolytes so that they don't pass away.
Just to confirm this point again, that night, you met Iris in the inner temple, correct?
Yes, yes. She's a gentle, honest girl. She's never once failed to follow my directions. There's no bath at the inner temple, you see, and I need a long hot soak.
Hold it!
So you returned to the Hazakura temple in order to take a bath.
My back is to blame for everything. It's a do-or-be-done-in kind of world, after all.
How long were you in the bath for, if you don't mind me asking?
Mine, what a filthy little rogue you are. I know what's on your mind. I bet your next question is going to be, where exactly did you wash? This is why you have to watch the young ones.
What are you going on about? I was pathetic, Miles Edgeworth.
The lowest of the low.
Is there some sort of kick me sign stuck to the defense's bench?
Anyway, I couldn't afford to be away from my post for too long, you understand, so... It was after I had finished. Just as I was heading back, that's when I saw it.
Hold it!
The crime took place in the courtyard, correct?
When you go from my room to the main hall, you have to take a winding hallway from which you can see the courtyard.
That's right. In other words, it was pure coincidence that the witness saw the crime taking place before her eyes. There was no complicated setup in this case.
That certainly seems to be true. There's indeed only one problem with this testimony. If I can clearly point out what it is, then I can begin to quantify just how good this witness's memory and observation skills are.
Okie dokie then,
Let's see. Nope. Oh, right. According to her testimony, she never left the main whatever. What's it called? Oh, here it is. Yeah.
Objection!
Witnesses have to undergo their own trials, I'm afraid. The defendant's fate rests on their powers of observation and memory, after all.
Well, don't worry. I'm more than up to the task. I'm a woman of faith, after all. The head honcho of Hazakura Temple.
In that case, Ms. Honcho, I'd like you to explain something for me. The discrepancy between your testimony and that of the defendant, Iris. She claims that after ringing the lights out bell, she went back and stayed in her room. Which means she did not go to the inner temple at all.
No, she said that.
A defendant or a witness?
Who is more likely to lie, do you suppose?
The defendant is simply lying to cover her back.
Objection!
But that is completely illogical. The murder was committed in the courtyard of Hazakura Temple. Claiming that she went to the inner temple would make for a much better alibi.
Yeah. But that is odd. Whatever the reason, I can't believe that she would lie. She does indeed have honest eyes. Oh yeah, all people lie. That is my belief. Why am I the only one being whipped in here? Anyway, neither the witness nor the defendant have any reason to lie, which means we must call your memory into question. Dear, 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 you're older than me and yet you want to play that game, do you? That isn't exactly what My memory is perfect, crystal clear, especially in winter. Then, I suppose it's too early to end this cross-examination, eh? Mr. Edgeworth, if you're going to question the memory of this witness, you will need to show me a more decisive piece of evidence.
Understood, Your Honor. I was naive to think that alone would do the trick.
Then please add your comments about Iris to the testimony. And let us return to the cross-examination. Okay, let's see.
Wait a minute.
Iris came to the inner temple. She was dressed exactly as she had been at dinner. No, she gave Phoenix her hood, didn't she? Yeah.
Objection!
Witness, let's get one thing straight. The defendant whom you claim to have met, she's wearing this demon-warding hood, correct?
Of course. That is a very important piece of clothing, I'll have you know. Well, wait a minute. What did I say? Why do you have that?
That's the question of the day now, isn't it, Ms. Von Karma? I'll have you know that this hood was given to someone as a gift that night, before the lights out bell was rung.
What?
You know where I'm going with this, don't you, Francisca? If the witness had seen the defendant as she claims, then the Iris she saw should have been missing this very hood.
Well.
It's not a bad feeling at all, exposing contradictions like this. Now I understand that happy look on Wright's face every time he does it.
Order in the court. Ah! Sister, this hood, you have a spare ones around the temple, don't you? Spares? Well, I do tend to make too many of them. I see, a stockpile, a surplus of hoods, eh? Each nun is only given one hood. This should be the only hood that Iris owned.
Then this is quite strange.
There, again. If there was a surplus of hoods, then she should have had one of those. There's no contradiction here.
I'm sorry to break this to you, Ms. Von Karma, but you won't get away that easily. Discrepancies such as this will sow seeds in any human heart. The seeds of doubt.
Witness, while I don't wish to call your testimony into doubt, you must give every detail with precision. I'm not sure I'm comfortable going along with this. Sister, you shall continue with your testimony. Tell us what you saw after finishing your bath and on your way back to the inner temple.
The seeds of doubt are sprouting in the judge's heart. They just need a little more stimulation to bear fruit. contradictory stimulation.
After my bath, I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look, and Iris was, oh, Mr. Elise, and with that sword of all things. Mr. Elise was staying in the corner room, which faces out onto the courtyard. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
Okay, I got a couple of ideas right off the bat. You saw a truly terrible sight, didn't you? If I was in your place, then it would be much like Ms. Von Karma whipping Mr. Edgeworth in two in court. And me seeing it all from this very chair. Well, something like that. This judge. His imagination is about as vivid and creative as Detective Gumshoe.
I would look as a fool if I commented on such foolishness.
Anyway, this case is mine, Miles Edgeworth.
Calling everyone by their full name. Can't you do something about that habit of yours? Okay, then, let's see. First of all, we're going to press on everything.
I finished my bath around 11, and I thought I should return to the inner temple.
Hold it.
How far is it from your room to the inner temple?
Let me think a moment. About 20 minutes on these stumps of mine. It's about 15 minutes to Dusky Bridge from Hazakura Temple. The inner temple is just beyond the bridge.
Still, you'll never meet it back there that night, did you?
That's right. I was heading along the walkway toward the main hall. And as I was walking back, I heard a noise from the courtyard. I took a look and...
Hold it.
You say you heard a noise?
Thump! Just like that.
That could only be the sound of the victim falling.
It's very quiet in the temple, you know. You can even hear the snow falling from the branches. Thump! Just like that.
But then, couldn't this noise you heard have been snow falling to the ground?
Never thought of that.
The next one to laugh gets a whipping.
Well, whatever the source of the sound, I looked over at the courtyard and... Iris was, oh, Mr. Calise, and with that sword of all things.
Hold it.
This is the second time that the witness has testified to seeing the defendant. But some doubt remains in these claims.
Just what does that mean? Just because you're a good-looking young man doesn't give you the right to...
Well, thank you, but wrong tree. The murderer who stabbed the victim with the sword, Sister Bikini, tried to recall exactly who it was you saw as clearly as you can.
Well, you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you. Oh, now that you mention it, there was something awfully strange about her. Something that has been bugging me all this time.
Please, don't keep us in suspense.
A hood? Hood. That's right, it's coming back to me. Iris, she wasn't wearing a hood. Damn it. I thought something was out of place, but it all makes sense now, doesn't it? After all, she'd given that hood away to someone, right?
Ha! You've dug your own grave, Miles Edgeworth.
What do you say, Mr. Edgeworth? Is this testimony important? Sure. This may initially appear to put me at a disadvantage, but can't see any other leads at the moment. Your Honor, I would like these new statements to be added to the testimony.
Ha! Miles Edgeworth. If you want to hang yourself, you need only to ask. I'll gladly lend you my VIP. Witness, add that statement to your testimony, eh? No problem. Now that you mention it, Iris didn't have her hood on.
Hold it!
You're sure about that?
Yes, after all, we always wear the same clothes. I don't mean because we're poor, you understand. It's our style. Yes, that's it.
There's absolutely no need to explain yourself.
Anyway, she looked different from normal, so that really stuck out. Like me holding a Whippet puppy instead of my VIP.
At least then it might bite you and not someone else.
Iris didn't have her hood on. I'm sure of it.
Very well.
Now, please tell us about the victim, eh? Mystic Elise was staying in the corner room which faces out onto the courtyard.
Hold it!
The room the victim was staying in overlooked the courtyard, correct?
Which means the victim's room was on the second floor? No. Unca Temple is a single-story building, but the mountain itself slopes downward, which elevates the main gate of the temple and the guest rooms in the back to about the height of a two-story building. I see. And the victim was staying on one of these elevated rooms, correct? Yes, I should know. I'm the one who carried her things to her room after all. The stabbing I saw must have occurred after she was pushed out of her window.
I know I should present evidence here, but I'm going to press first.
Hold it!
What makes you so sure of all of this?
Yes, just like I told you earlier. I heard a noise from the courtyard, okay? Thump, just like that. You're one smart sister, I'll give you that. The autopsy report says that the victim's body was covered in bruises, indicating a fall from around 10 feet in height.
Did you really just invoke the evidence that I'm going to use to refute that testimony?
It appears that the witness was not mistaken then. Yep. I'm more than just a pretty face, especially in winter.
What is it about you in winter?
But I'm a woman of faith after all. The head honcho of Unca Temple.
Wait a minute. There's only two of them working there.
What's wrong, Miles Edgeworth? No snappy come back to the mark?
It doesn't feel like she's lying. This is very powerful testimony, too. She claims to have seen the instant in which the defendant stabbed the victim. There are only two things I can believe in right now. My client, Iris, and my own abilities as a defense attorney. Okay, first of all, there.
Objection!
Impressive logic. That's what I'd like to say, anyway.
Oh, please do. My brain is something else, especially in winter.
However, I think you are overlooking one thing. Ms. Von Karma, you be so kind as to take another look at the autopsy report, which you just cited to me.
The autopsy report?
The victim did fall from a height of 10 feet. However, this fall was after she was killed.
Ah! That's right. It says after death right here.
The scene the witnesses claims to have seen is contradictory. if the defendant stabbed and killed the victim there in the courtyard, how did the victim then go to take on a 10-foot fall?
Ah!
Order! Order! The victim was killed and then fell. If that is the case, then the victim must have been killed in her room, don't you agree?
That is the logical conclusion. Yes, that's right. The victim must have been stabbed by the defendant in her own room. And she was then thrown out of our window down into the courtyard below.
Objection!
Were there any signs of a struggle in Miss Dunham's room? She was stabbed with a sword that would leave a bloodstain, don't you agree?
Well, Miss Von Karma, was there any blood?
Blah! No traces of blood were found in the victim's room.
Your weapons just shows traces of blood to be found on my glorious playoff beard. However, if there was no blood in the room, then
I'm sure there's no need for me to go over this, as I'm sure Your Honor is well aware of when a stab wound produces the most blood.
When it produces the most blood?
Very little blood is actually lost at the moment of a blade's insertion. If you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from my body, that would be when the blade is removed.
Indeed. With the weapon still in place, it acts like a lid on the wound.
That's true. With the weapon still in the body, there wouldn't be much bleeding. A perfectly reasonable line of thinking.
We have come to a conclusion then. The victim was thrown out of the window with the sword still in place. This removes all of the contradictions.
Damn it! Order, order, order. I must admit that this is a probable version of events.
I'd expect no less from Franziska von Karma. She locates and takes control of every vital point.
It seems that we need a clearer testimony from the witness. Remove all supposition on your part and tell us only the facts, please. Witness, please, remain standing on the crates. Don't go selling me short now. The weight of winter snow has bent me out of shape, especially my back and my mood.
Sister, please, give us your testimony. I will give you a vigorous massage once we are finished here.
With a whip?
Oh boy. All right. Further details. When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place. Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mr. Elise. I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I fainted. You can't blame me, can you? And when I awoke, Mr. Gammy was stabbing Mr. Elise through the back. This all confirms Miss Von Karma's theory.
Von Karma strive for nothing but perfection.
And how many cases have you won in Japan?
Never you mind that, Miles Edgeworth. Putting together such facts is nothing for me. You should know that, Miles Edgeworth.
Perfection is an impossibility, Franziska von Karma, as I very well know. I'm here to teach you just that. Okay. First of all, we're going to press on everything.
When I looked across at the scene, the sword was already in place.
Hold it!
At that time, was the victim bleeding?
Well, I was very shocked to be seeing all this, of course. So I'm not entirely sure. But I don't think I saw any blood, not then.
I'm sure that you didn't. The weapon was acting as a plug in the wound.
In any case, let's be clear on one very important point. Did you actually see the instant in which the victim was stabbed?
Thinking about it now, I didn't actually see her stab Mystic Elise.
Hold it!
Think carefully. This is very important.
It's Iris we're talking about here. I'm thinking for all I'm worth. No, when I looked over, the sword was already in Mystic Elise's body.
Might not be conclusive, but this testimony supports her theory.
The victim was stabbed in her room and then dropped into the courtyard. I think this proves it rather well, Miles Edgeworth.
I've never seen so much blood before. That's when I think. Oh, wait, go back.
Hold it!
So you're saying that you saw the victim's blood?
That's right. Some of it has splattered onto Iris, too.
When the defendant was arrested, she was meditating in her room, and her blood-flecked clothing was neatly folded in the corner.
What? Her clothes were blood-flecked as well?
That seems quite conclusive to me.
What should I do? Press this point further?
Yes,
Going back to your previous statement. You said that you saw little bleeding when the victim was stabbed. But now, you say you saw the victim bleeding.
Well, I say that what I saw is what I saw.
What did you see?
Maybe I didn't see the poor woman get stabbed, but I saw the girl pull the sword out of her plain as day.
Pulling the sword out?
Well, it wasn't exactly pulling, it was more like it came out. Witness, you will add this statement to your testimony. Oh, was that important?
More important than you can imagine.
I saw the instant in which the blade plunged into the hilt.
To the hilt?
Was smoothly drawn out.
Hold it!
Smoothly, you say. You're saying you saw the sword smoothly slide out.
That's right. The whole thing happened right next to the gold statue of Mystic Army. Mystic Elise was on the ground and Iris was stooped over her. The sword was buried up to the hilt. When Iris stood up, the sword in her hand just slid out of Mystic Elise's body. It slid out from that gaping wound. Ah!
You're a terrible actress.
It goes without saying that if the sword was removed, there would be bleeding.
nothing out of place here.
Is that really the case? Can't help but feel that something about this testimony is very out of place. That something that which couldn't possibly have happened appears to have happened.
Okay,
No,
There are too many unnatural elements in this case. Why was it necessary to use the shishishitsu from the Ami statue as a weapon? Why was the weapon ultimately placed back in the hand of the statue? If I can expose the flaws in this testimony, perhaps then I will begin to find the truth. I went too far too fast. There it is.
Okay, look at this thing. There is no way that was drawn out smoothly. Also, the blood only goes like a third of the way up.
Objection!
Sister Bikini, you are a reliable witness. At least, I'd like to think so. But there are too many contradictions here.
Well, what do you mean? You make it sound as though I'm a liar. But you're a handsome young man, so I'll forgive you.
What contradictions are you talking about? And he's not that handsome.
In the scene that the witness claims to have seen, the weapon was thrust up to its hilt into the victim. Furthermore, the killer withdrew the weapon smoothly from the body. However, both of these are complete impossibilities.
What do you mean? Please explain your...
Explain yourself!
To start with, do you think it would be possible to stab someone to the hilt with this? No matter how I look at the defendant, she doesn't appear strong enough for that.
Doesn't appear? What meaningless dribble! I too may appear to be weak and frail. But I can crush men under my heel and make them weak should I so choose. Just look at my R/34 page.
The objection stands. And what is R/34?
Never you mind, Your Honor.
Yeah, well, okay then. I wept a little back there, I must admit.
Objection!
That isn't the only issue here. If this sword was truly stabbed into the body up to the hilt, well, just look at all the branches on it. It certainly wouldn't come out smoothly.
That's...
We also have the problem of the amount of bleeding. It's true that when a blade is left in a body, it acts as a plug of sorts. However, when the weapon is shaped like this, it's an entirely different story. The wound would be too large for the blade to completely stop the bleeding.
That's nothing more than conjecture. In reality, the victim was stabbed with the shishishisho. Even a weapon of this nature may still sometimes slide out smoothly and may still sometimes stop the blood loss.
Objection!
I'm not finished. There's still one more conclusive contradiction.
You still got more?
This one is simple. If this sword really was thrust in all the way to the hilt, why is there only blood on the tip of it? If this witness is telling the truth, then there should be blood along the entire length of the sword.
No!
Order! I did again with the whip.
Bravo, Miles Edgeworth. Raising these many contradictions from a single piece of evidence. All the other attorneys I know could maybe manage one, if that.
But what does this all mean? You're proving contradictions regarding the murder weapon, but
Having come this far, there can be only one answer.
And that is...
The weapon used to kill the victim was not the shishishitsu.
what?
a foolishly foolish idea born from the foolish mind of a foolhardy foolish fool.
Let's examine this again. What was it that made us think this sword was the murder weapon?
Well, it's because Mr. Gamey was holding it.
Exactly. However, if you reflect on this, that is the only basis we have to assume such a thing. The impression left by the scene was just too strong. That is what influenced us. It influenced us to believe that the Shishi Sitso was the murder weapon. Order, order, order again!
So maybe the Shishi Sitso was not the murder weapon. But even if that is the case, it changes nothing, Miles Edgeworth. The sister here saw everything. She saw that the offender stab the victim with a sword-like object.
That's true. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth? If that is so, I would like the prosecution to answer the obvious question it raises. The obvious question? Yes, namely, where did the real murder weapon disappear to? Goes without saying that the police searched the main hall and the surrounding area. Perhaps the prosecution can enlighten us as to if a sword-like object was found.
That's...
Answer the question, Mrs. Von Karma.
No evidence of that kind was found.
Another mystery to throw onto the pile. A trial without a murder weapon is a tricky beast.
Excuse me, could I say something? I just remembered something, actually.
What is it, sister?
I was just thinking, it's possible that just maybe what actually happened was it was just over there.
What what exactly are you going on about here?
The murder weapon, I mean. Maybe. I think I might know where the sword was disposed of.
You what? Well then, I think we need to hear testimony from you one more time, sister. Impossible. What else? What else could this old woman have seen?
Location of the weapon. I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate. And there, I saw tracks. Tracks that indicated a snowmobile had been used. It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 using one of those. Maybe they threw the weapon into Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out. Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Witness, please tell us everything you know right away next time.
Well, I'm not in the best of shape. When am I back in my age, you know?
Right. There were indeed snowmobile tracks in front of the main gate. Here is a photograph.
A snowmobile, eh? I see. Well, it certainly is an interesting theory.
The tracks begin in front of Hazakura Temple and run all the way to Dusky Bridge.
Yay.
That solves your pesky little problem, yes? The Eagle River's current is quite swift, meaning that it doesn't freeze over in winter, making it the perfect place to dispose of the murder weapon.
Did she really go to the river to dispose of the murder weapon? Mr. Edgeworth, your gross examination, please. Okay, but first, I need to look at that photo.
Ah!
Okay, there it is. One set of tracks, one set of footprints.
I
I saw the murder at around 11 p.m. Yeah, oh, hang on.
Press on everything. You are sure about the time?
Yes, I was worried about it after all.
Why was that?
Because I have a strong sense of responsibility, especially at this time of year. The acolyte was being doused in freezing water at the time. I couldn't very well take it easy in the bath all night long, could I? So at 11, I decided to leave the Hazakura temple.
Your estimation of the time seems reliable, at least.
Please continue, sister. And after asking that it be reported, I went out to the main gate.
Hold it!
You asked Phoenix Wright to report the crime, correct?
Right. The one who trampled me.
Trampled? Seems she is the type to hold a grudge.
There isn't a phone in the main hall, so I sent him to the bridge.
Phoenix Wright. He didn't even have his cell phone on him.
You'd forgotten it at home, apparently.
What a naive boy, as always. Not only do I always carry my phone, but I always have my weapon on too.
Anywho, I was really scared, and it was taking him a while to get back. So I thought I'd go out by the main gate for a spell. And there, I saw tracks that indicated the snowmobile had been used.
Hold it!
As I recall, there was a snowmobile outside the main gate when I visited.
That's it. That's the only one we have. It'll run no matter how much snow falls.
Now, you're certain the snowmobile was there at the main gate when you arrived?
Yes, of course. It was parked in front of the gate.
So, she had already gone, discarded the mother weapon, and returned by that time.
I'm not sure if this is really relevant. What should I do?
Press.
Need answers to every possible doubt. Snowmobile in question. Was it still warm at that time?
Yeah, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, eh?
What do you mean, Miles Edgeworth?
I'm playing to a slow crowd here. It goes without saying that using a snowmobile will heat its engine. I remember when I was a child, I had been grounded. And since I was a latchkey child, my mother had to trust that I would stick to that groundation. However, my dumbass decided to watch G.I. Joe in the afternoon, after school, even though I wasn't allowed to. So she walked in after work, put her hand on the television, and extended my grounding for 3 weeks because the television was warm, madam.
You don't look old enough to have watched G.I. Joe.
Never mind. If it was still warm, then it means it was recently used. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, I see. I never thought of that.
That's right. I overlooked that too.
Of course you did.
And answer the question, please, witness.
I don't often go around touching hot engines. However, now that you mention it, there wasn't any snow on it. Snow? Yes, for some reason, only the snowmobile wasn't covered in snow.
There wasn't any snow on it.
Curses!
It seems highly likely that the killer did use the snowmobile then, eh?
How long does it take to get to Dusky Bridge by snowmobile?
It takes 15 minutes to walk to Dusky Bridge, but less than 5 minutes using one of those.
Hold it!
In that case, why didn't you use it yourself? You could have spared yourself some walking.
Ah, there's a reason for that. Have we got a moment for me to explain? I think that's why the question was asked in the first place. It was about a month ago. I was driving my beloved little snowmobile, happy as can be. I'd fetched some water and was heading back when I went and crashed into a tree. The tree and my back both went crunch, just like that. Crunch.
Crunch.
I haven't been able to find the courage to ride anything since then. Anyway, the killer must have used it. Maybe they threw the weapon in the Eagle River and came back while I was knocked out.
Hold it!
Refresh our memory. How long were you knocked out for?
Like I said, somewhere between 10 to 20 minutes. It's possible to get to the village and back in 10 minutes using the snowmobile.
Have to concede that is more than enough time.
Is that all you wish to concede, Mr. Edgeworth?
For now.
Iris could have done that. She can drive a snowmobile after all.
Hold it!
While it would have been possible time-wise, one element remains out of place here.
Oh, and what would this mystery element be, eh?
The killer's reasoning, Your Honor. Why did the killer do all of this? Why go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon when there are other methods?
Too many unanswered questions. Your response, Ms. Von Karma? Blah! Turning to me for help always the slightest thing. Why don't you think for yourself once in a while, Your Honor? What?
She's as over the top as always.
Anyway, whatever the reasons, the fact remains that the defendant could have done this. The murder weapon was disposed of in the river. Another point to me, Miles Edgeworth.
Another mystery to feed the fire. Was there any reason to go and throw away the murder weapon? Luckily, there is surely a problem with this testimony. Now all I have to do is start poking holes in this flawed account. All right. Let's go ahead and skip ahead to, I think here. Come and go. Not possible because of one set of tracks. Make sure I'm looking at the right photo. And present. Admit this photograph proves something. It proves that the snowmobile was used on the night of the murder.
You finally accepted the inevitable, it seems, Miles Edgeworth.
However, if what the witness says is true, then why, my dear Francisca von Karma, is there only one set of tracks?
What do you mean?
Iris left the Hasakura temple, threw the weapon into the river, and then returned.
No, you call me my dear. Do you really think so?
It was a turn of phrase.
Oh. Okay, continue.
If this was the case, then naturally there should be two sets of tracks in the snow. Those from heading out to the bridge and those from coming back.
Oh, you're right. So you don't think of me as dear at all, do you?
Could we not do this right now?
Fine. You are forgetting one thing, Miles. Not dear to me at all, Edgeworth. On the night of the murder, it was snowing. The tracks leading to the bridge were erased by the snowfall. This removes your precious contradiction now, doesn't it? Not dear to me at all, Miles Edgeworth. I see. While she was at the river, the snow stopped, leaving just the return tracks in the snow.
What do you have to say now, Miles? Nothing to me, Edgeworth.
Why is she going on about this? Is there a flaw in her theory? This idea that the snowfall covered one set of tracks? Of course not. There's always a contradiction. The tracks to the river were covered in snow. What a nice theory. However, Ms. Von Karma, that is impossible.
But you can't explain. Why, there is a road index finger currently pointed in my general direction.
No need. The evidence will do all the talking for me.
On the night of the murder, the killer went to and returned from Dusky Bridge. In order to dispose of the murder weapon, the outgoing tracks were erased by the snow. Or so claims Ms. Von Karma. Mr. Edgeworth, present your evidence to the contrary, eh? Evidence that the outgoing tracks were not covered by the snow.
There's a weather report here somewhere. Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Take that!
Witness! Please tell us again what time it was when you witnessed the crime.
Like I said, it was around 11.
Of course. This means that the weapon was thrown away after that time, correct? On that note, please take a look at this data. It is the weather report for Eagle Mountain on the night of the murder. The weather report, snow started to fall at 7 p.m., but it stopped at around 10:50. Therefore, when the sister witnessed the crime at 11 p.m., the snow had already stopped falling. It is impossible for any tracks made after that time to have been covered up. Ah!
Order. Very well then. It looks like Ms. Von Karma's claim is being snowed in.
Ah! It's too soon to be closing this trial due to snow, and also you will not be making puns in my general direction, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Miles Edgeworth, how pathetic of you to rely on the weather of all things. Answer me this then. When is a weather report ever correct?
No. You've got it all wrong. This isn't a forecast. This is actual data.
Bleh! Forecast data, all weather reports have so many inaccuracies. It may have still been snowing in the vicinity well past 11 p.m.
It's true. We cannot be totally sure, eh?
What? How did she pull that off?
It had stopped snowing at Hasecure Temple when the murder took place. You need to provide conclusive evidence of this.
I've come this far, there's no turning back now. Very well. I too cannot allow any doubt to remain concerning this testimony.
Ha! You can't back down, can you? Such a perfectionist, Miles. Not dear to me at all, Edgeworth.
Very well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Where is your evidence that it had already stopped snowing when the victim was killed? Oh, crap. Nope, wrong button.
about this?
Aha! There's no snow on the body.
Take that!
Ultimately, it all comes down to one point. That being, whether or not it was snowing in that courtyard when the victim was stabbed.
Such light, but proving that is
Incredibly easy.
that.
If we want to know whether it was snowing or not, this photo will tell us everything. Of course, I am referring to the photo of the crime scene. As you can see, everything is covered in snow, with just one exception.
And that is
The victim herself, Ms. Elise Denham. Why is there no snow on top of her? The answer is simple. It had stopped snowing when she was killed, that's why.
dinner.
In other words, if the killer really did go to the Eagle River to dispose of the murder weapon, then in this photograph, my not dear to me at all, Franziska von Karma, there should be two sets of tracks.
Da!
Order, I do not understand that.
Ah! Just what are you suggesting, Miles Edgeworth?
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure myself, but this is simply what all of the facts point to. That night, someone used the snowmobile to leave Hazakura Temple. From the tracks left, it can be understood that they were headed for Dusky Bridge. At that time, it was still snowing.
Of course it was, because those tracks were erased by the snow.
Then, when this person returned to Hazakura Temple, the snow had stopped. Thus, the return tracks remained. Can I say something? I just, don't understand what is going on between the prosecutor and the defense attorney, but I really wish it would stop now, thank you. Also, this all sounds a bit fishy to me.
What, sister?
There is only one key for the snowmobile. What?
Furthermore, on the night in question, we know that the defendant had it.
Wait, we do?
The key was found in her room after the murder.
Which can only mean that night, Iris used the snowmobile to go to the inner temple. But Iris said that she never went there. I should probably press on this point some more when I get the chance. The snowmobile can't cross the suspension bridge. So she must have left it on the Hazakura side of the bridge and crossed on foot. That sounds right. But what's odd is, when I left Iris and returned to the Hazakura temple, I didn't see anything near Dusky Bridge.
You must have just failed to see it, sister.
Maybe. But when I made it back to Hazakura Temple, it was there, by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean. I know what I saw. It was covered in snow, too. Wait, what? But that isn't possible. Order in the court. What does all this mean? So then what was the snowmobile used for? Wasn't taken by the defendant when she went to the inner temple. If it had been, then the witness couldn't possibly have seen it by the gate. Furthermore, it wasn't used by the killer to dispose of the murder weapon. If that were the case, there would be 2 sets of tracks in this photo. All we know is this. After it stopped snowing, someone used the snowmobile to return to Hazakura Temple. Never thought a simple snowmobile could cause so much trouble.
I think we've learned all we can from this witness. Yes, I've nothing more to add. I've told you everything I know.
Well then, that still leaves us with the same problem. If only there was someone,
A witness who could testify to having seen the snowmobile.
a witness, huh?
Was there no one out walking perhaps near Dusky Bridge on that night? I don't think that's likely. It was cold enough to freeze your ears off. Only an idiot would go out wandering in that.
An idiot, huh? I think I might have an idea.
Unless they had something really important to do.
That's a shame. Hold on. Something's coming to me. An idiot may well have begun wandering out on that subarctic night. Your Honor. Actually, there just might be one individual who may be of help to us.
Really? Sure know of someone who might have seen the snowmobile on the night of the murder?
I don't know for sure if he saw it or not. There are 2 things about him that do come to mind, which are, first, that he saw something incredible on the night of the murder.
And the second being?
This individual that I am thinking of went wandering outside on that cold night. In other words, he is our kind of idiot. Mr. Edgeworth, who is this idiot you're talking about?
Take that!
This guy must be the product of Jean-Luc Leduc's guide to obnoxious French painting.
This is Larry Butts, a disciple of the victim, Elise Denham.
Her student? Interesting. And why was he wandering about outside on the night of the murder?
That's... I could tell them all about his designs for Iris, but it may cost us his credibility as a witness before I even call him. He is, after all, an artist. He was, perhaps, searching for something in the snowy scenery that would move him. Although I cannot guarantee that this is the reason.
And so, is this unfortunate, unreliable-looking man? What exactly was it that he saw?
I intend to extract that from him right here in this courtroom.
Summon this youth as a witness immediately.
I have no choice, do I?
I believe he is in the gallery for this trial. It will not take long to summon him. Very well. Larry, you may have escaped me yesterday, but today I'm going to get everything out of you.
The court will now adjourn for a 20-minute break. Ms. Von Karma, please see to preparing the next witness.
Understood, Your Honor.
Good. Well then, court is now in recess.
To be continued.
In the next episode, to the outro! Well, I think we've poked enough holes in Bikini's testimony that we've taken a lot of the heat off Iris. But now I no longer think that she's our killer. Which leaves Larry, Iris, the unaccounted for Pearl, or someone the game hasn't even revealed to us yet. I don't like any of those options.
They're not just narratively unsatisfying, but they don't fit the evidence we have. Anywho, I'm sure we'll get a few answers when we grill Larry tomorrow. In the meantime, up here is a playlist of my Danganronpa Goodbye Despair playthrough, and down here is a video that YouTube recommends. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!